Welcome to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. I'm Jody Walls.
I'm Brady Brock.
We're with Gumtree Mortgage here in New Albany over on Starling Avenue. We specialize in home financing needs, whether it's a purchase, a refinance, or a new construction.
And we're super passionate about trying to help you find the home of your dreams, help you get it financed, just like this one right here.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Up in a game. You come out and hit them in the mouth on the first play, we're going to be fine.
What's up, Bulldog Nation? Back another week, homecoming week, super exciting week. Got the Caledonia coming to town. A lot of festivities this week. We're excited, Coach. We sponsored by Gumtree, right?
Gumtree Mortgage sponsors the coaches show. Jody Walls, Brady Brock, those guys over there. Make sure you go see them for all their mortgage needs. But we appreciate them. They've done it for a while now. But thanks to those guys at Gumtree Mortgage.
We got a lot going on this week. We will be coming with you, broadcast journalists will be bringing you live with the festivities Thursday during class and Friday during class, so you can see the homecoming events there. And then we'll also have the homecoming. Is homecoming at halftime or before the game this year?
Before the game, I believe.
Before the game. So before the game, we'll have that live for you. So we'll start the broadcast a little bit earlier this week so you can see that. So we're excited about that. So let's get rolling, Coach.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Bulldogs coming off a 38-35 win over Itawamba, Coach.
Yeah, a team that we've had a lot of trouble trying to beat in years past. We went on a long streak. When I first got the job, we heard a lot about. It's been a long time since we had been able to beat Itawamba. And then I think we, with our staff here, it took us 7 years to beat them. So finally got over the hump last year, beat them twice last year, and was able to beat them out at Itawamba this year. So tough task, never easy to go over there and win. They're coached well. Clint Hoots does a tremendous job. If you look back over their success the last decade at Itawamba, it's very good. So anytime you go over there and get a win, we're excited about it.
So we basically won the toss and elected to take the ball this time.
And that's something that we don't do a lot. A lot of times I feel like you can kind of play for a two possession right there at halftime, which is kind of what they did later. But I thought it was important for Braden to get the ball, get started on the right foot, and then we kind of jumped off and started well.
Yeah, we get first drive 3 and out, but we punt, and they fumble. Bulldogs jump on the fumble.
Yeah, special teams turnovers are huge. We talk a lot on the week to week on Mondays, especially about making big plays on special teams, winning that phase of the game. That was a big play for the Bulldogs, got us going and got us on the board after that turnover.
Led to a 45-yard field goal by Grayson, so great job by Grayson. Bulldogs, the next series for Itawamba, come up with an interception.
Jay Boone intercepted the ball over the middle. Jay's a guy that's gotten more and more reps for us, has been a guy that's consistently on the field. Just gets a great effort guy, also plays a lot of offense at the slot position, so a guy that can certainly handle the ball.
Good job by him to kind of break on the ball. The quarterback kind of threw it over there that way. After that, Bulldogs hold again, hold the Indians to another 3 and out. They have a punt. I think it went to their own 22-yard line. I don't even think it was enough for a first down. The bad snap from that leads to another field goal by Grayson Alexander. Yes, sir. Grayson had another, I believe it was the 38-yarder for the second time we go around. So the Bulldogs up 13-0 with 2 minutes and 43 seconds to go in the first quarter.
You're still in the first quarter, but you can already tell that special teams have played a huge part in the night. Grayson Alexander, he went on to kick another one later, but he kicked 3 field goals for us. That first one being 45, like you said. A high school kid kicking a 45-yard field goal, that's impressive. Yeah. It's a huge boost, to our team. Grayson was also the Tallahatchie Nutrition Player of the Week this week. Just had an awesome night. He works really hard. He's got a lot of ability. Sometimes that ability doesn't show because maybe we're doing better and punching the ball in for getting touchdowns and whatnot. But it was a huge part Friday night. It's always important. Sometimes it shows more than others. And like I said, he capitalized off his opportunities this week.
Defense with another 3 and out for the Indians. Kind of each time we're talking about it, the Bulldogs 3 and out on defense. So good job by the defense early in the game. We changed a few things up on the defense.
Yeah, just gave them a different look than they had seen on film. Just tried to put a front out there that will allow us to blitz a little bit more, bring a little more pressure. I think that gave them some problems, and then they also didn't take advantage of some opportunities in the passing game. Jay Boone had the interception. They had a couple drops, but the defense played well early though.
Bulldogs up 21-0 with 10 minutes and 45 seconds to go in the second quarter.
Yep, I would like to have put some of those field goals and the touchdowns, but like I said, anytime you're getting points on the board, it's great. Grayson did a great job with that.
Next series for the Bulldogs, we get the ball at our own 7-yard line. 2 plays later, we're in the end zone.
Well, it finally clicked, right? I mean, we weren't moving the ball super effectively. A play design that we'd worked all week in practice. Just started in a tight formation, a motion to spread, and Cam was able to get up the middle of the field. A lot of movement gives those eyes on other spots, and Cam had a big play, got up to near midfield, and then we just threw a double post route that Braden did a great job connecting to Isaiah Simpson on the next play. But 2 bang plays, awfully demoralizing to an opponent right there, and a big boost for us.
Grayson gets another field goal, another 20-yard field goal after that on the next New Albany drive.
Yeah, like I said, three field goals there. Also got in on one of those. We went for 2 and got a 2-point conversion where we snapped it out there to him. We've done that a couple times this year already. AJ Kerbo's been over actually snapping it out there to Grayson. You've got 6 offensive linemen bodies out there where they're just blocking for him. If they don't adjust and get enough guys out there, well, that's something we can do. And there's a lot of guys that they got to run through, and Grayson does a good job catching the ball. And Grayson's just an overall athlete. He's a great soccer player, does all the kicking for us, but can throw and catch, and just is a really good overall athlete.
Reminds me of myself.
Yeah, I figure. Yeah, absolutely.
Indians finally get on the board in the second half or in the second quarter, bringing the score to 31-7, and again, they get the ball with about 50 seconds left to go in the first half.
Yeah.
Well,
we kicked that field goal. We would like to have punched it in the end zone. That was something we've talked a lot about this week post game. Was taking advantage of red zone opportunities. We've got to be better there. But the second part of that, like you said, kick the field goal, go up 31-7, 50 seconds on the clock. Tried to manage that where there wasn't a lot of time left. Thought we did a pretty good job with that. Defensively, the first falter of the night, so to speak, was that right there, though. Allowing them to drop the field and score right before halftime was something that we've got to do a better job of preventing.
Yeah, they bring it to 31-14 with 6.8 seconds to go on the clock, and then a little excitement from the Bulldogs.
They got up right there, knowing that they scored right there, but also the fact that that they had got the ball the second half.
Yeah.
So was a little concerned about that. So just need to finish that half a little bit better.
Well, the Bulldogs had a little excitement. They right before half with 6.8 seconds to go on the clock. Kick off to Cam, and Cam.
Yeah, so had a touchdown. You're right. Had the touchdown, got called back. They originally called for a block in the back, which wasn't the case. There was a holding that was out there, and they just said basically after halftime they told me that they just called it wrong, that it was a hold. So either way, didn't appreciate it.
We had guys calling in. They were.
Yeah.
It's like we replaying it. That wasn't no block. That wasn't no block in the back. It was a big deal right there for the broadcast coming in right there.
Like you said, though, definitely a lot of excitement right there. Got some guys that when they touch the ball, special things can happen. Cam Bray is one of those guys that had that return right there. And it's just unfortunate they got called back for sure.
Bulldogs have 7 possessions in the first half. Score on 6 of them. One I won't even hardly count because we basically punted and we got the fumble on the punt. So basically 6 out of 6 drives in the first half we scored.
I think we did a good job moving the ball at times. It clicked on those 2 pass plays. We drove the ball 93 yards. But I think the biggest takeaway is Grayson capitalized on when he had opportunities, a 45, a 38, and I think he said a 27 later. Great job right there. It's not really what you want to do, settling for field goals, though. We need to get in the end zone more than we did and take more advantage of those red zone opportunities.
Yeah, we did take advantage of some. We had a fumble, had 2 short punts by Itawamba, and then the Boone interception.
Like I said, special teams, that's what we talked about a little while ago. Special teams was really good for us and really bad for them that first half.
Struggled a little bit scoring in the second half. Only one score for the Bulldogs in the second half.
Teams are going to do a couple different things against us. We're going to try to primarily spread the ball around. We're a spread offense. One thing that we struggled on specifically was able to run the ball inside. Teams are going to spread out or they're going to bring pressure. Playing a 3-4 team, you've essentially got 5 guys in the box where we've got 5 offensive linemen, a quarterback, and a running back. Right. So we need to be able to win inside the box more than we did Friday night. Now, the good thing is we've got some guys we spread the ball around to, but when they start playing off, that makes it hard, or they start bringing pressure trying to overcome that, so where you got to get the ball out of your hands quick. Sometimes that leads to big plays. Braden's able to extend plays a lot of times. Sometimes it gives you trouble, though. So what can help that is your screen game or being able to run the ball inside on that 5-man box. We didn't do that very effectively, and that presented some problems.
Bulldogs had 89 yards rushing in the game and receiving yards of 266 for a total offense of 355.
Yep. Our goal week in, week out is 350. We've been over it every game so far. That was probably our lowest one. So 350 is great. Just finding a way to run the football more effectively. You talk with special teams, we had a lot of short fields, so that leads to less total yards because you're operating. We'll take that every time, though. We certainly want to take advantage of that.
Braden was 17 of 25 for 266 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions on the season so far. For the season, he's 53 for 86 with 935 yards, 8 touchdowns. And has rushed for 28 carries for 121 yards and 3 touchdowns.
It all goes through Braden on offense. He does a tremendous job for us. The fact that he's averaged over 300 yards a game passing speaks to him. It speaks to the receivers, what they're able to do with the ball. And it does speak to protection, even though a lot of times he's having to scramble out. A lot of times the protection is good, though. So we've got to keep getting better there, and just, what we talk a lot about is our quick game being an extension of the run game. If we throw a hitch, if we throw a slant, if we throw a key screen, whatever that may be, where Braden's catching the ball, getting it out quick, is almost just like an inside run, right? Because it's a high percentage. You want to be 90 plus on all those. And we tell our receivers all the time, you want to attack half a man and fall forward. So, whether we're actually handing the ball off or not, we've got to get the ball out quick and be able to get some yardage out of it. But like I said, Braden's done a great job. We will continue to throw the ball a lot because that's what we're really good at right now. But we're going to take chances to run the football too. And Braden does that too. Like I said, has 120-something yards rushing. Is certainly a capable runner also.
Kylan Knox, 10 carries, 66 yards and a touchdown. He had a couple of runs that were very nice runs. And after first contact, he's still able to gain some more yards.
Kylan is running the ball extremely hard. He's a physical runner. He's not a big guy, but he runs the ball super hard. He's agile. He's very shifty in there and can do some special things with it. Just needs a little bit of a crease. And you saw that some. We ran an inside run. I think it was about a 15-yard run roughly where he scored on. Just a good play right there. Was blocked well and ran well. So we're certainly capable of running the ball. We saw what he did week 1 and all the help he did there. Was a player of the game week 1. Just does a good job for us and is going to keep getting better and better. A guy that's a junior that's got a whole another year, and this is kind of his first time to actually be the guy, and he's doing a good job.
Yes. He also had 4 receptions for 51 yards. You mentioned those. Lots of those were screens.
That swing pass.
Yeah, so a lot of our concepts have a running back out in the flat. So if Braden feels pressure or if they drop too much, he's able to dump it. That's something in the past that we don't always do well. Sometimes, you get caught up as a quarterback wanting to throw the ball downfield when you can get something on the side. But I think he caught it every time we threw it out there. Braden saw him early and did that. And that speaks to the receivers running the right routes too, whether they've got a spot route or something that vertical that pushes that outside linebacker deep. If he carries with them, then that underneath route, that flare is there. And so great job of those receivers running the right routes. Great job of Braden see it, getting it out there, and a great job by Knox catching it. So very effective play for us.
I think Braden did a good job this week of staying in the pocket a little longer instead of rolling out to the side and finding his receiver from the pocket.
Well, stepping up in the pocket, that kind of thing. Sometimes he's certainly got to escape it at times, but we want him in the pocket with his eyes downfield. Braden does a good job for us.
Cam Ray leads the Bulldogs with 7 catches for 121 yards and a touchdown.
Cam's a special guy. You saw him on special teams. You see him on offense. He's just a guy that we want to get the ball to. Cam is one of the most talented athletes around our area. I would really feel that way. Now doesn't always capitalize on some things and just needs to continue to get better. But a very gifted athlete that is a 2-sport guy in basketball and football. But he's certainly a guy that you get the ball to in space, some good things can happen.
You can kind of see his confidence level building these last 2 weeks, and he's getting comfortable with the ball in his hands.
I think about Cam being an experienced guy being here, but Cam's a sophomore. You know, he played a lot as a freshman last year. You know, the young man is only a sophomore. He's still got 2 more years after this one. You know, plays backup quarterback for us, does a lot of JV quarterback. Will end up playing quarterback most likely next year. But can do special things in space and is a really good.
And a lot of viewers don't, you know, they hadn't watched him throw it a lot. I'm gonna tell y'all, Cam Ray can spin it.
Yeah.
He's got a tight spiral and can spin it.
Really good athlete, like you said, tight spiral, comes out of his hand quick, got a huge arm. You know, one of the plays in the game, the first half that he scored that touchdown on, Braden was looking to a concept to the left, came back. Cam had an arrow and he ended up turning it into a wheel. Braden saw it and threw it over the top of it. So that was them converting something and just playing a little bit of backyard football, being smart, being on the same page, and making something happen. So he did a really good job there.
Xavier Coleman, 3 catches, 21 yards. Isaiah Simpson, 2 catches, 64 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, just like I said, whether it's Cam, Isaiah, Xavier, Trayvon Scooter's out there. You got guys like L.J. Dunham, Trey King, Jay Boone. A lot of different guys can come over there at receiver and do some good things. You know, Xavier's a guy that we can run a lot of stretches with. You know, when we're trying to get outside, he runs a lot of underneath crossing routes. Just does a good job. Another guy that's fast, good in space, and is a good player for us.
Yeah. 5 different receivers caught balls against Itawamba, so again, spreading that ball around.
Yeah. And I think that's probably a lower number for us. You know, 5. You know, I think, like I said, I think we've got 8 or so that could get out there and do some good things with it. So we'll continue to do that and continue to spread the ball around.
One of the biggest takeaways I have from the game is the 3 field goals by Grayson Alexander. 45 yards, 38 yards, and 20 yards.
Yeah.
There was no doubt on any one of them.
He's got a strong leg, can do some really good things. You know, Grayson does we do a lot of different things on kickoff, whether they're onside kicks or we're skying right or deep left, but just he's able to do some special things with his feet, with his kicking game. He's also the punter for us, you know, just does a good job. But yeah, I mean, that was why he was the player of the game. You know, got all 3 of those. He was perfect on the night. He was perfect on extra points. Just did a really good job for us.
Did an onside kick in the first half as well, and I thought it was awesome. We were about the only ones that were there to be able to get on the ball.
Right.
Fortunately, it rolled out of bounds.
Man,
yeah. You know, just a little surprise, something right there that you work on. If make sure the other team's paying attention, and you know their kid didn't see it, had an opportunity to get it, just kicked a little bit too hard. Otherwise, Jalen Nesbitt could have had a shot at it. But you know, those are things that he practices with his team. But him and Caleb will go practice on their own some too when we're doing offense or defense. So they spend a lot of time working on that stuff.
we're doing a good job with kickoff too, not being one-dimensional. I mean, even, you know, up top, I don't know what you're about to do. You know, we could easily, you could get in the mode, just kick it to the 5 or in the end zone every time, but we're one-dimensional, and these kick return teams are having a difficult time preparing for that, you know, because you're doing so many different things.
And one thing Grayson can do, Grayson can kind of line up the same, and his approach be different. But when he lines up, you don't know whether we're going to do sky right or we're going to kick it deep left. And so time to time, there's a guy that you just don't want to put the ball in their hands that we can do something different on. So that's why we line up and we spread the whole field, because we're not giving anything away by our alignment. A lot of teams that kick it deep left will tighten up and be just inside the hashes and leave that outside alone. Well, we're going to cover the whole field because we want to have to cover the whole field too. If we want to sky it right, they're over there. They don't have to adjust. They adjust as they run down the field. So, you know, Coach Curbo's primarily, he does a lot of our special teams for us. He's our special teams coordinator. Every week he comes in with a game plan on what we're going to do there, and then Grayson, those guys execute it. So they do a really good job. Got a lot of guys flying down the field on kickoff team. It's always a good thing.
Changed things up on defense a little bit this past week. Worked well early first half. We mentioned some of the drives, several 3-and-outs for the Indians this week.
Yeah, you know, went to more of a 3-3 stack defense. What that allows you to do is kind of a 3-3-5. You've got those 2 apex guys that are safety, outside linebacker type guys, but it essentially puts 8 guys near the box, and you can bring a lot of different pressures from those people. So it gives offensive linemen, quarterbacks, offensive staff a lot to look at now. In any defense you do, there's something that you're adding and something that you're losing. So added a guy to the box, took away somebody out of the secondary, a little bit more susceptible to the pass, which is why you saw us bounce from a stack to a 3-4 in passing situations. Just feel like, you know, that gives us the best chance to be successful. But a lot of guys bringing pressure, you trying to utilize speed, and cause problems. And like I said, it did that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it confused Itawamba coming out of the gate. They wasn't expecting that from us.
Especially on the passing game early in the game.
You know, they're used to us. They played us twice last year. They've seen us on film. So, you know, when you coach offense and you have offensive linemen, you're doing things and they have rules based on what they need to do.
Right.
But you also get comfortable and get accustomed to something. So I know they didn't practice all week against the Stack. So it was a surprise for them. They had to kind of get back going a little bit. And you know, it gave us an edge for sure.
Yeah, they tried to run on the Bulldogs front wall, and linebackers and the defensive tackles did a good job keeping them from getting down the field as they'd like to do. And I think it put them into where they had more throwing situations, and the receivers just unable to hang on to the ball.
When you're down 3 scores, it starts changing your game plan type thing for sure.
Held the Indians 125 yards rushing, 121 yards passing for a total offense, 246 yards. Much better than the previous week.
Yeah, it was certainly a better performance. Kind of bent a little bit late. They started running a little off tackle on us. That got us. We got to do a little bit better job of setting the edge and getting it to bounce back to guys. Need to do a little bit better job of getting multiple guys running the football and tackling better. You can pretty much say that about any time, just about. So there's still things we got to get better at defensively, but I think it was an improvement over the previous 2 weeks. And a lot of it just comes down to guts. Guys just playing. They were out there on the field a lot. You know, a couple of those scores we scored quick, and they were right back around. So I know our defense got winded at times. You know, they just give them credit for digging through and finding a way to get it done. And then, like you said, I know you get to it, but late they came up with some big stops late in the game for us as well.
Yeah. Tyler Evans, 10 tackles versus Itawamba. Parker Skinner with 9 tackles.
Yeah, both those guys did a good job. Parker Skinner, Parker, you know, is a guy that's been playing for us for a long time. Tyler Evans is a guy that's been playing safety this year. He can move to corner, other spots, you know, but just a guy that's got good speed and can get close to the football.
Jalen Nesmith, 8 tackles. Parker Hicks, 8 tackles.
Yeah,
None bigger than the last sack of the game for Nesmith.
Yeah, it was Isaiah Simpson that got that last sack.
That's right. I forgot.
And again, you know, Parker, I think one of the guys that you noticed if you watched the film first was probably Parker Hicks. Parker Hicks did a really good job. He moved all around the field. He's got good speed, plays in space well. I think he had one of the better nights of our defensive guys. Just does a good job for us. You'll see him week to week in different spots, depending on what people give us. But he's a guy that's comfortable playing in space. But he can also come down and be that linebacker where he's a thumper and can come downhill hard. You know, Jalen's a guy Nesbitt's a guy that we've depended on for a long time now. Has been a corner for us and will stay there, and you know, just does a good job.
Jackson Howard, 6 tackles against Itawamba. Jay Boone, 5 tackles against Itawamba and an interception. And Will Hardy, 5 tackles against Itawamba.
Yeah, you got to talk about 2 of those guys right there specifically. I think Jackson Howard is kind of the heart and soul of our defense. You know, he does a great job at that interior defensive line spot. Just at practice, he's energy. He's got a lot of fun and people like to be around. Just does a really good job for us week in and week out. We come to the board, work through different offensive schemes or how we're going to stop them. Jackson's the guy we always put up there that we know we can depend on. So, and then Will Hardy is another guy you just mentioned. Will Hardy is another sophomore, a guy that's playing early. But Will's motor and his work ethic and his just coming down, his toughness is something that we've all noticed. He's doing a really good job. And Will's a guy that's not going to come off the field for us because of that. Whatever defense we run, Will Hardy's going to be involved in it somewhere. So another guy doing a good job.
Actually leading the team in tackles for the season.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, just if you watch Will and you can just pinpoint Will, he's going full speed, whatever he's doing, and he's giving great effort. Doesn't mean he'll always make the play. I mean, nobody's perfect, but he does a really good job for us. Really pleased with him. And like I said, the big thing is he's a sophomore. You know, we're going to get to utilize him for a long time. He's going to have a lot of tackles over his career, but just doing a really good job for the Bulldogs and our defense.
I'm going to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
That'd be all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
New Albany just recognized as the All Sports Award for 4A in the state of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that criteria for that.
You know, so they basically, every sport that's recognized by the MHSCA, that's governed by them, you get points on how you finished in 4A. Mm-hmm. They tabulate all those points, you know, and so it's everything we do from tennis to soccer to wrestling to football to basketball, all of them compile together. and they pay as a point system. And so when it's all said and done, New Albany was the top one. So I think New Albany's done it before. I think in 2010 maybe was the last time, 2010 or 11. But it goes to the athletes we've got, the coaches we've got, the support that our school district and our community gives to us. It is the top athletic award in the state of Mississippi. So the fact that New Albany's at the top of 4A is a huge accomplishment for our kids, our coaches, and our community. It's something that I personally take a lot of pride in, our coaches take a lot of pride in. And it doesn't happen without all of it. You can have phenomenal athletes but not have the coaching and struggle. You could have phenomenal coaching without the athletes in it. So it encompasses the athletic program and embodies that better than any other award we can get. So huge accomplishment. Again, there's community support we get is a huge factor in that. We made deep runs in a lot of things. We had state champions in multiple things. So if I list them, I'll forget one of them. But we had a tremendous year last year athletically. I can brag about New Albany all day. Just the city, the community, but we are such a well, diverse, balanced group between academics, athletics, and everything, the arts that we do. It's a great place, but like I said, there's no bigger award in athletics than that All Sports Award. So extremely proud of our kids, extremely proud of our coaches, but a huge deal. I appreciate you bringing that up.
Congratulations on that, Coach.
Absolutely.
I know we talk a lot about special teams today, but just to recap, Saltillo game, this game, them close games, that special teams really is set us apart, I think, just watch it on that side of things.
Well, I agree. I mean, everybody doesn't have Grayson and Caleb, AJ Curbo. Grayson and Caleb are both really, really good. We've talked about Grayson a lot, but Caleb is a guy that can really get it done too. Can boom out there at practice, can absolutely boom it on punts. Can do field goals. So, we don't want anything to happen to Grayson, but we've got another one that's very good too. So, two kickers that are really, really good. AJ Curbo is a long snapper that a lot of zip on the ball, something that he's taken pride in, worked on, and just does a lot of stuff at home, a lot of practice there, a lot of going around to camps and doing some other things, getting rated and being ranked in his class at that. We're going to have an opportunity to play that in college, so just a huge tool that those guys have right there. And then beyond that, it's making it a point of emphasis, right? There are 3 phases of the game. They're all important, and we've got to emphasize that. So Coach Curbo leads that special teams group. He does a really good job of that. We've had a lot of success. But it starts with those kickers, those specialty guys like AJ, and they're doing a really good job for us. It doesn't really matter how you win. It really doesn't. Right. That's something we focused on this week, and we talked to them about it specifically on Monday. The Eagles head coach talked about it, and this was exactly what he said. He said, first thing we're doing is we're talking about we're finding a way to win. It doesn't matter how, find a way to win. Number 2 is take pride in winning. And that's the goal. That's the overall thing. Right. And then after you found a way to win, you're taking pride in winning, all right, you're going to get better at practice. Right. You do those 2 things, and then the 4th thing was to repeat. So that's something we've talked about, and just it's something that week in and week out you do that. You find a way to win, you take pride in winning, you get better at practice, you repeat. And it dumbs it down or simplifies it, but that's what these kids have done. They did it a lot last year, a lot of close games last year, a lot of close games this year, but most of the time they're finding ways to win, so we're proud of that.
Coach, what was the coaching moment when Isaiah Simpson is coming in rushing there? Had he been playing defense any that night? Did that just all of a sudden?
Well, he practiced. Isaiah's a guy that has come to be a leader for us. Yeah. It's important to him. He practices the right way. Braden, he gets a lot of targets because Braden is comfortable with him. He knows what to expect. He knows where he's going to be where he's supposed to. If things break down, you'll see Isaiah see it, and he's moving towards the ball. So a lot of extended plays happen to him because he does that. But that carries over outside of offense, and it carries over in scout team stuff and this and that. And Isaiah in the past has not been the best tackler, but this year he's been a great effort guy. And so you put that effort out there, and it just happened to be on a play where it was huge for us, and he was out there and got the sack. So tickled for him, excited for him. Just a young man that has earned it. If you look over his career, he's just been a guy that's just stayed steady and just dug and worked. And now as a senior, he's kind of one of our guys. He did play a lot last year. Had games where he was very involved, but not to the extent that he has been this year. So you'll see him. He's a guy that's got to be important for us for a receiver, but is also you're going to see more and more on defense as well.
Well, Coach, I feel an energy boost from this Friday. I know we all had, Santovia kind of let us down there, but I think that's something we really needed. Go beat Itawamba. You can feel the hallways, the excitement today. There's a lot of people excited about Friday night, and feel that boost again.
2-1 obviously sounds a lot better than 1-1, but to beat a good football team like Itawamba, to go to their place and do it, and just to kind of reemphasize the guys, I tell them every week, there's a lot of talent out here, but we've got to put it together. We've got to do what we're supposed to, and we've got to execute. So, like I said, our focus now is just to find a way to win. Doesn't matter how it is, dig, scratch, claw, win on special teams, defense, offense, whatever, but collectively find a way to win and take pride in that. So that's what they did. I'm excited about it.
We'll talk about tonight's matchup with the Caledonia. Bulldogs coming in 2-1. Caledonia Cavaliers 0-3. Head coach is Michael Kelly. I believe he's starting his 8th year, just like you are here in New Albany, and they're a 5A school.
Yeah, just bumped to 5A. Michael Kelly's done a really good job. They've had a lot of wins over the past several years. 0-3, they're not having the year that they would like to have. Obviously, I think they're down a little bit, but a well-coached, scrappy team that's always going to come in and compete. Going to run a little different look on offense than we've seen before. They're going to be a double wing, triple option style team where you're going to see a lot of inside veer, outside veer, some midline, some toss trying to get to the edge. Not going to throw the ball a whole lot. Somewhere around that 85% run. It's on the board in there, but I can't remember exactly. But it's a heavy run attack that has some sprinkled passing game in there. So defense, again, it's going to look a little different this week than it has previously. And so our guys got to do a good job of hearing the game plan on Monday, going out and practicing it day in and day out, and installing that new defense and just knowing where to be. That attack offensively is kind of they're picking their poison, so to speak. They're going to run dive, they're going to run the quarterback, they're going to run pitch. We've got guys every play that have to be responsible for it. I'm a dive guy, I'm a pitch guy, I'm a quarterback guy. We'll go out there and practice and do what they call the no-ball drill, where we have to tackle all three of those people, and the football's not even out there. So that lets our defense focus on my responsibility and making sure we do our job every play. So it's a very disciplined attack that you've got to do really well, otherwise you'll give something up. So it's trying to manage that.
Their losses, Itawamba was their opening game of the season. They got beat 27-16. Amory, the second week of the season, they lost 40-36. And this past week they played Lamar, which is a private school. They got beat 55-14, and that was 15-14 at one.
It was close early.
Yeah, at one point.
So right there, like you said, a lot of close games in that right there. Played at Itawamba fairly close, and Lamar, like I said, pulled away late, but they fell short on all three of them. But they've been in every game early.
It's only the 6th time that we've played against Caledonia. Bulldogs lead the series 3 wins, 2 losses. Wins coming in 1996, 48-6, 1995, 55-8, and 1994. These kids weren't even born at all.
Yeah, well, that's why you
27-6. The losses got beat the first time we played them, 1999, 21-22. And the most recent game was a first-round playoff game in 2022. Bulldogs fall at 21-18. We went down there and thought we had a good chance of winning the first round game.
If you look back over these past 8 years, you pinpoint some games you wish you had back. I think that would be one of the ones I would pick. I think we were a talented team that went down there and just fell just a little short. Some things didn't go our way and didn't end up ultimately capitalizing and winning the football game. But I think we were certainly capable of beating them that night. I think we were potentially the better team and fell short. So remember that one well, and just like I said, hopefully we'll get a shot at them again right here. Just ready to get back at them for sure.
Braden was the quarterback when we played down there last year. He was 15 of 24 for 168 yards and a touchdown and an interception. So he'll be familiar with him anyway.
Been a ninth grader at the time, I guess. I can remember Cheese, all those seniors. Cheese probably played a little bit in that game. Just some guys that we'll remember, like you said, going over there. It's always great to play here, though, right? Anytime, that's a pretty good little drive, so they're going to have to make that trip. The atmosphere at Kitchens Fields is a lot of fun on Friday night, so we're excited about it not being played there and having to come to our place, too.
some of the kids to watch for the Cavaliers, quarterback's number 10, running back number 22. They have several wing backs, number 4, number 9, number 0, number 14. Then they have tight end wide receivers, number 7, number 44, number 8, number 1. I can't find a roster on them, so I can't call them by name.
Multiple guys back there. 10, you've seen 10 at quarterback the most. Number 4 will come back there some. The first thing that we're going to talk about when we talk to our defense is stop and dive. So number 22 is that fullback that you talked about. He's going to be downhill, thump kind of runner, where we've got multiple guys going to attack, dive, try to tackle, dive. Number 4 is probably the guy that stands out to me the most on film. We'll play some quarterback, but he also plays that wing and just does a good job. He's a hard runner. He's a guy that looks like he's been doing it for a while. I think he's a senior, but we got to know where he's at. It's an attack that, again, you've got to stop dives, you got to stop quarterback, and you got to stop pitch on every play. Doesn't matter what it is, and so we've just got to be really disciplined this week. We don't want to. We focus a lot on pre-snap, post-snap penalties. Game 1, I think we had 12. We had 5 last week, and it's gotten better. Right. And so that's something we got to keep focused. Not giving teams anything, right, making them earn everything that they take, but certainly being disciplined this week and attacking all 3 weapons that they have. And that's fullback, that's dive, quarterback, and then pitch. So making sure we secure all those.
What are you seeing from them defensive-wise?
Defensively, they're going to look similar to Itawamba. They're going to base out of a 3-4, and personally, 3-4 is designed to help combat spread, but there's space in there. It starts with that box. They keep those outside linebackers. If they're close, then you've got room in the secondary in the passing game. Against us, they're going to have to play soft because we throw the ball so much. So what that's going to give you is a 5-man box of 3 down linemen and 2 inside linebackers. We've got to do a better job this week of capitalizing off that and run the football inside. Our offensive line's got to do a great job, and Kyle Knox, Aiden Burke, those 2 running backs got to do a good job of attacking that. And then our receivers got to catch the ball, run good routes. I don't think they're skilled enough to hang with our receivers in our passing game. So now, what do? Do they play back? Do they bring more pressure? And then how can we combat that? So we just got to execute. I think we've got a game plan. I think our offense matches up very well with their defense. I'm excited for our guys. I mean, anytime we get Braden out there and those receivers, it's fun to watch. It's fun to see what they can do. I'm ready for kickoff in that regard, and just letting those guys get out there and play. I've got a lot of confidence in Braden Shuttles and what he does with the football and getting us in the right situation. So it's just getting to turn those guys loose and let them play.
I think anytime with the wing tee, you're battling time of possession and turnovers. I know Coach Kelly's always been real big on, they don't really turn the ball over. I think these past few games they have been, which has kind of been unorthodox for them. How do you handle that time of possession? Is that something you worry about?
Well, typically you're scoring if you have the ball, so right. It definitely factors in. And we want to let our defense take a breath from time to time, but as long as we're scoring, putting a lot of points on the board, right, I'm okay with it. They should not score as quickly as we are capable of, just because of our normal spread offense. But that being said, we want to get 3 and outs. We want to get stops when they're on offense, and we want to control the ball, be able to dictate what we can do in a steady inside run game, spread the ball around to our receivers, and just be able to manage the game, do what we need to do. When they get too aggressive or we get a matchup, we're going to take the shot on it. So whether we score early, as long as we're scoring often, I don't really care. Yeah. But we don't want our defense out there too long, because they can get gas, they can get something. So we certainly want to keep their offense on the sideline, because I think our special teams, we feel good about that. We feel good about our offense. Defense, we got better this week, and we're excited about what they're going to do this week. So not going to dwell on time of possession per se, but their offense is dictated and to hold the ball and are able to get 4 yards, get 4 yards, get 4 yards to maintain time of possession. So, but at some point they got to give us the ball, and so them scoring quickly is going to be a lot harder than us scoring quickly for sure.
Well, I think that's it. Thanks for watching New Albany football.
One thing
Coach
you do have, Coach
Stubblefield.
We talked about it brief. We talked about homecoming.
Oh yeah.
All those things. Our kids are dressing up all week. They're doing a lot of great things. You know, we've got the community parade Thursday. You talked about that earlier. You guys live streaming that. Just a lot of great things our community does coming together for homecoming. I think there's like 3 different class reunions going on, taking place Friday.
Oh, wow.
You know, just a lot of good things happening. They're going to crown a queen. They're going to have a lot of football players and escorts involved, and all those ladies dressed up. Just a great community coming together. Haven't experienced that. But Thursday's the parade, followed by community pep rally at Memorial Gym. And then Friday you've got homecoming and the football game. So just a great week, a lot of excitement, a lot of festivities. You know, we tell these guys to have fun and enjoy it, but when it's football time, it's football time. We've got to focus on winning. But you know, just a great thing. I know our kids are excited, our teachers are excited, the community's excited. So we appreciate everybody hard work that comes into that and what they do for it.
It's a great week for New Albany, that's for sure. Yep. I think we're going to get the special teams on here. Some guys get Grayson and George up here and talk to them a little bit, but we'll be back shortly. Welcome back with some of our specialists today. Had a big night last week. You want to introduce yourself?
I'm Grayson Alexander, junior, and I play kicker and punter.
I'm Caleb George. I'm a junior. I kick, punt, and I hold.
Guys, something we've done a really good job with is our special teams, from kickoff to punt to field goals to long snapping to holding. You look at the Saltillo game, you look at last week against Itawamba, those close games, if you go back and look how we won that game, I mean, there's a lot of things that help us win, but we beat them at special teams. We beat them. Let's talk about that a little bit. What is y'all's process? How are we being so successful every day in and out on special teams?
You want to start?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, first of all, it's really just the warm-ups, getting your body ready for it. And one thing people don't really know about special teams and all, like kicking and all that, it's a lot of mental stuff. You know, I've been told it's 70% mental, 30% physical.
I'd believe that.
That's right. That's what Caleb said. Exactly what Caleb said. You know, we go out early for warm-ups. We make sure that our bodies are good and loose, and then we start. You know, we get our full routine. We do the same thing every time. We kind of exhaust ourselves out before the game.
Right.
That way we can be fully prepared as the game comes.
I don't want you to give anything away, but what is that routine? Let's say we got a 45-yard field goal. What is the process to get my brain, myself calm to take that snap, get it down, and to kick that ball? Do y'all have a special technique to get yourself in a clear mind where you can make that play?
What I would say is, and I tell this to AJ all the time, it's just like practice. We do this every day. It's the same thing. Nothing's different about it. We're just getting to show our talents in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. The first game, I know I'm gonna use AJ as an example. He was real hype, and he was like breathing real hard, and I was like, dude, just calm down. Like, I get this is your first time, you're excited. Like, it's just a game. All you got to do is go out there and snap, just like we do every single day. We go out there on our own and we practice. We go out there with the team and we practice. We go up there on our own after practice. It's just the same thing every time. And we get in that routine of just doing the same thing over and over again, and it just gets easy.
I compare, you know, I coach baseball, and I compare what y'all do a lot to what my pitchers and hitters do. And I tell them, I kind of give them this analogy, I never need to be up here with emotions. I never need to be up here, and I never need to be down here. I've got to find where I can just stay in that flat line. It ain't that I'm not hyped up, but it also ain't that I'm down. I'm keeping that cool flat line so we're consistent. And I think that's the biggest part of y'all's game is consistency. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
What was more nerve-wracking, the extra point against, was it Saltillo?
Yes, sir.
Or the 45-yard field goal?
Honestly, probably Saltillo, and the only reason I'll say that is because my kicking wasn't as good as it needed to be against Saltillo, so I was kind of nervous. I knew that it was going to go in. It just needed to be a good kick. With the 45-yarder last week against Itawamba, it was just kind of like just do your thing. That's the only thing I had in my mind is just do your thing. Mm-hmm. Just go through the motions, finish, and it's just what happened.
On the hold, are we so when I did it, I was there. Let me see your hold.
Grayson's really, really picky about his holds.
Yeah.
If it's back here, it's wrong. If it's over here, it's wrong. So it's got to be right here.
And you hold finger there?
Hold finger on this panel right here on the back. That's right there.
Nice.
He looked right down through there when holding it.
You can't see that, but he is within. What's the timing? Y'all know the numbers usually. How quick we gotta get the hold down?
Not 100%
I can't.
sure.
It's quick, guys, and George is getting to that point with this side towards the foot, with our snapper getting seams to top hand within that fraction of a second. And if you don't realize how hard that is, it's difficult. It's difficult. A lot of high school, kick games, they're getting snaps and seams are maybe landing like this. Ball's coming down, it's coming there, and all of a sudden he's kicking. We really do a good job with that, and that is difficult. I did it. I think that one of the most nerve-wracking things I did playing football was holding for the kickers.
Yeah, it's because Grayson, if he misses,
it's your fault,
right? It's not always.
It
it looks like it's his fault, but it could be my fault or AJ's
Right.
fault. So it's kind of like you got to stick up for him. Like you got to set him up to where he can play his game.
And it's a 3-man. I mean, it's everybody, 11 guys, but it's for that kick to go through that upright, it's 3 guys got to perform right there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all 3 of you got to perform, or more than likely we're gonna miss that kick if one of you don't. Another holding question, just because I used to do it. You go knee down or you squatting?
I go knee down.
Knee down.
Yeah.
I was more comfortable with knee down. It just made me. We didn't have as great of a long snapper, and that makes a big difference when you kind of got that lob coming there, and you holding, but you also having to look here for your fire. It makes it a little nerve-wracking that knee down, but it is a lot more comfortable. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Kerbo, I think his time's gotten a lot better this year. I think the ball's getting a lot quicker there too. I mean, obviously as a freshman and sophomore, that's helping a lot.
Oh yeah, he's been to a lot of camps. He's been to a Coles kicking camp. He's been to some colleges, and he's been practicing and gaining weight. Mm-hmm. And he's got divots where his feet have been from the repetition of him just snapping that ball in his yard. So that's definitely helped us out a lot.
Speaking of the Kerbos, today, one day this week was, what was the dress up?
Teacher versus student.
Teacher versus student. So the students dressed like the teachers and the teachers dressed like the students. Well, AJ came to school with a bald cap on, mustache, and then Josh Kerbo, AJ's daddy, one of our guys on the offense and helps with special teams, right? Mm-hmm. Came with a wig, long hair, backwards hat, and shorts that are way too short because AJ likes wearing way too short shorts at school every day. So I'll make sure we'll get that picture up on this stream so everybody gets to see that. That's going to be nice. But it was a fun day.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of this summer, recruiting-wise, Grayson, I know you're starting to get looked at a lot. Have you? Where are you with that? I think everybody's kind of wondering.
No offers yet. I've been going to some really big schools. Of course, I don't expect to get offers right now, but
and kickers are usually, nothing against specialists, but you're usually the last ones to go off the board on the offers. Once they get the, a lot of you not the way the recruiting's went nowadays, he'll get an offer, and then he'll get a committable offer, and that's kind of how it works. He gets an offer, and then once they get their commits, he'll let you know where you are on the commit line, and then he'll get that committable offer, and that's kind of how it works. And specialists usually, quarterbacks go one, and then they kind of go that, and then they get their kickers towards the end So I wouldn't be surprised this spring you start getting your, most of your offers.
Hopefully, I'd like to get some offers in. It's like you said, I talked to a lot of coaches, and they just said that kickers were, most of them don't commit or get offers till their senior year. Whether it's big schools or even smaller schools, that's just kind of one of the things that comes with it.
I know when I'm playing, what's the football game? College football 25. NCAA. I usually get my kickers last. Nothing against you, but I like to get that QB and running back first. But it's no disgrace to you guys because, we don't have you guys. I don't know if we win week 1 or last week. So that's a huge deal for the Bulldogs. We brought that excitement back last week. I don't know if y'all felt that in the hallways today, but everybody's excited about Friday night because, I was down. Apologies at Northwest. The stream was terrible. I apologize for that. But we got good stream last week, and we played some good football. So the excitement's back, and that's exciting going into Friday night. It's going to be fun.
Yes, sir.
Both of y'all play soccer, right?
Yes, sir.
You want to talk about that a little bit? Made it to a state championship last year. Fell a little short, but it was a good ride. It hurts, don't it?
It does.
Getting down there, that hurts.
Two
I've been
years
there.
in a row. Same spot, same team. We lost to. Maybe we'll keep working hard and get back out there.
I've been on the good side of it. I've been on the bad side. That bad side, for some reason you remember a little more. I'll be honest with you, you remember a little more. It hurts, but you take a moment now. You can reflect on how good of a season y'all had, the good things y'all did, and capitalize. You've been there so many times. You know what it takes. You know what it takes to get that ring on. So, super excited about you guys on the soccer field too. We're proud of you guys. Y'all guys are doing an awesome job. We need a 50-yarder. I don't know if he's ever going to tell you to do it. We need a 50-yarder this week. So
this week,
can you do that for me?
I'll do my best.
One thing we do every week at the end of the show, we do a pick to click. Okay, and this is who's going to be your guy to be the player of the game for offense. I'll let you do offense, and you're going to do player of the game for defense. And I'm going to do special teams. I'm going to do special teams, a new one, since we got our specialists here. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One question: who is our gunner on punt?
Our gunner?
Yeah. Who's out wide going besides AJ? Who's free releasing?
We've got a couple of people out there. Usually it's Jalen Nesbitt or Isaiah.
Or Tyler.
Tyler.
It's like one like cornerbacks usually are the ones that do it.
Okay, I got mine.
Usually some of
Okay.
them.
Yeah.
Well, y'all ready? You got yours in your mind? Also, I need a little stat line. Too.
I'm not real sure about the stats. I kind of need a second to.
All right, need a second. I'm going to go with mine first while they think. I think Tyler Evans is going to be our special team player of the week because we're going to have a punt, and he's going to hit that dude. He's going to fumble, and Tyler's going to pick it up, and it's going to be in the red zone. We're going to score a touchdown. So y'all remember that next week. I'll bring this clip back up just so everybody remembers that happened. So you go, Tyler. I'm relying on you.
I got mine.
All right.
You can say yours.
I got me Parker Skinner. He's going to have 5 tackles for loss and 1 forced fumble.
All right, Skinner.
All right, and for me, I'll have Isaiah, wide receiver. I bet he's going to have at least 100 yards receiving, make some big plays.
All right, guys, if you're watching the live stream right now, it's almost game time. We got 10 minutes till kickoff. We'll starting lineup here shortly. Get David Good on the field. We got our broadcast journalism right now. Miss Carly is working on a graphic design for you, so I hope we have that up today. But super excited about this week, homecoming week. Let's beat Caledonia.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys. Go Dogs.